My name is Adam Clegg. I am a level designer on PlanetSide 2, and I was mainly in charge of placing outposts and bases around our 3 continents. No, I did not. I wasn't actually at the company yet when the game was out. I joined the company in 2007, but I did work on QA on PlanetSide while it was a live game. So I was very familiar with the game before coming onto the team. Well, it started out as a smaller project with just a few people, but as soon as we got the tech to kind of make this big engine, or to work in this engine that we have, FAUORITE engine, that's when it really started to ramp up and we really started to get a lot of people on the team and really start looking at PlanetSide 1 and talking to the community. Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of performance problems early on. We've never, nobody has ever really done a game like this with this kind of a scale, except for us back on PlanetSide 1. So with this game, we're trying to get 2,000 players, all shooting projectiles, all spawning vehicles, all running around the map all at the same time. And there was a lot of performance issues in the beginning, and we had to pull back until we finally got it to a state where it is now, which is a pretty awesome state. Yeah, actually, we have 3 facilities, the AMP station, the tech plant, and the biolab. And I was in charge of the design and the layout of the biolab and kind of keeping the upkeep of it and making sure that all of them are working and functional, and the overall base design is fun and balanced. So that I would say that was my crowning achievement of PlanetSide 2. I started in QA. Well, I started playing games my whole life. Then I got into QA, and I took it very seriously. I think QA is an easy job to kind of like be relaxed and be like, oh, I test video games for a living. And the people that really do take it seriously, it's a really good idea to do that, because once you're in the industry, even though you're just testing games, you can move up pretty quickly and do what I did and hop over to design. And all of the knowledge that I've learned while testing carries over. All that same knowledge applies, and just all the games that you play your whole life. So that's how I worked my way up. I started in QA, worked my way up, got an apprenticeship, did really well in the apprenticeship, and then got a design position. I would say it started early when I first got my console. My first console was Sega Genesis, and my older brothers had a Nintendo, but it was their Nintendo. And so this was my Sega, and I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog and just trying to beat every game that I got. I think that's when I started to think like, man, this would be awesome. I want to do this. I want to make a game someday. Well, the first game that I worked on was Free Realms, which was a game that Sony Online has made previously. I worked on that game as an apprentice. And then from there, moved over to PlanetSide 2. So this is my first title, or my first game with a designer title. Oh, I've tested all of the SOE games. We move around from game to game, help out all the other teams a lot. So I've tested EverQuest, EverQuest 2, Vanguard. Back then, there was Star Wars Galaxies was still online, PlanetSide, basically all of the SOE games. Well, I think we get a lot of feedback, definitely, on Twitter, on the forums, all the time. And a lot of it is really constructive, and it's good. There's a lot that is just, I don't like this, change it. But that doesn't help me at all. I like the feedback where it's like, I don't like this because of this, and it would be cool if you did this. That's the kind of feedback that I really like. And a lot of the times they were right. The original, like I said, I worked on the biolab. The original layout of the biolab isn't how it is now. It's very different now. If you look back at the early tech tests, it was just completely different. So a lot of the feedback that they've given me has directly affected the game, and now it's how it is now, and I think it's in a really good state now. So. Well, Right now it's a lot of polish, trying to make sure, just playtesting the game a lot, making sure that everything is working. Just a huge checklist basically of all of the new outposts that we make sure the base actually functions. And then beyond that, it's tweaks, requests, things that we think we can do quickly to get into the game before launch. You know, we launch in a few days. So, but basically early on we had a big task list of all of these things that need to get done on these continents. And we would spend sometimes multiple days on one task trying to make an outpost or build an outpost. So yeah, basically I live in the train editor making the levels. Favorite part of the job probably has to be, honestly, what I do, working in the train editor. You really get to feel like you're molding the game. You get to raise the terrain, you get to place objects, turn them, rotate them, make them bigger, smaller, and you're basically playing with Legos. You have all these little Lego pieces and you use them all to build a little world. You have nothing to start with, and then next thing you know, it's this nice, cool level layout that people are going to play in like a week later on our beta server. So I think that's the most fun. It's just starting with nothing, building your base, and then watching people play it has to be the most rewarding feeling. There's both. There's sometimes we get a direction that we need to go, and we're like, this needs to be a tower, or it needs to be fortified this way, and we kind of work with that. Other times, they just say, go build something. You know, they give us a lot of freedom, and I think that's helped out a lot because we have a lot of different level designers and a lot of different styles. And when they just say, hey, go make a bunch of stuff and let's play test it, you know, you really get to see everyone's different style, and I think that's why our continents look so unique and feel so awesome. So I think it's been really nice working on this project. It really depends on how much work you've already been doing. Like if we've been kind of like, let's see how I can say this. Sometimes you want to be told what to do because you're just tired, you're just exhausted, you've been working so much, and you're just like, okay, tell me what I want to do. And then sometimes you feel really refreshed and you're like, I'm feeling really creative right now. I just want to make something. And you know, both are good. When you really feel like you want to make something, then that's when your bases come out the best. When you're not really in the mood and they're like, okay, build 2 outposts over here, and you're kind of just, you know, trying to make it happen, but you're really tired and really trying to make it work, that's when it's kind of like, I would rather have you tell me what to do right now to this base because I can just fix it. So there's a lot of roller coasters, you know, working all these hours. The whole team's been working crazy amount of hours. So I would say I've felt both ways. Well, I'm pretty early game designer myself, so I would just say, you know, definitely learn from your mistakes, and just, even when you're feeling like you're just pushed to your limit and you've hit your wall and you can't do anything anymore, just try to think of something that makes you feel good about the game just for that day, or just something that a player said that made you feel good and it just helps you get over the edge and just keeps on working and working. And never stop playing games. Never stop playing games, and never stop playing any kind of genre of games. Even if you're a hardcore FPS guy, try like an RTS game, and just to see what it feels like. You really learn a lot by playing multiple genres and not just sticking to the core of what you really like to play. You should play PlanetSide 2 because there's 2,000 players in a persistent world, 3 empires all fighting for territory in the largest battle that you've ever played in your entire life, guaranteed.